You guys, welcome to episode number 10 of the Derby Current Life, and to start with this episode, we're currently 6th in the table. We do have the game against Watford, who are currently 2nd in the table. Last episode was quite interesting because we actually lost a couple of games, and I think we are at the right level in terms of difficulty. Obviously, the earlier fixtures in the month, we won quite convincingly by 5-1 and 5-0, but then when we played against more teams around us, obviously we kind of struggled. But then at the same time, if you look through the goals in those games, we could have quite easily got at least 4 points from those two previous games. So in between the two episodes, I have been doing a lot of training. Basically, I just put a whole entire week of training in, and we have actually got quite an interesting front five now. As you can see, all of them have 5-star skill moves, which I didn't actually realise before I even checked. So that's something I can always look for to get us in behind a little bit easier, of course, and just to get a few more goals. Jordan Ibon, 5-star skills and 5-star weak foot. Hutchinson's got 5-star skills. I think Duncan's got him as well. And same with Sibley, who was unfortunately injured in the last episode and is going to be out for a couple of months. So, bit of a shame, but at the same time, it means we can rotate the squad a bit, and we can just get a few more newer faces in. So he is going to be out for another 2 months. It'll be interesting to see when he does come back. Hopefully, it's by the December window. Just have a look through the appearances. As you can see, we haven't played that many games with the likes of Waghorn and Josephson, and obviously I did put them into quite a bit of training just to try and get their fitness up and potentially get them in a game here and there. But more than likely they won't be playing. But yeah, these 5 players here all have really, really bad morale because I literally trained them really, really hard for the last week, so they're not too happy. But at least they've slightly got more fitness now. One thing I'm probably going to look at is settling to buy the option for Liam Delap in this episode, just because we are about to go into the month of November, and one of the new features on FIFA 21 is that the parent club, it's normally when you don't play them, but I've seen a lot of occasions where loan players will get recalled to their parent clubs. Obviously, we don't want that to happen. Not too sure if it actually works in a loan to buy option. Maybe it's just a straight up loan, but obviously we've got November and December, so then obviously once that 1.4 million has gone, we can kind of just look to buy and swap players that we currently have at the club that aren't exactly playing too much. Obviously Wisdom, unfortunately that deal didn't go through with Traore, but what I can always do is hopefully get him to a stage where he's happy to re-sign a new contract. And if not, if we get to like December, we can obviously put him into a swap deal because he is worth about 3 million. And probably get someone like for like, maybe even better. So I do like the transfer system this year. It's much more improved and much more realistic. So let's go into our first game against Watford. It's going to be a very tough game. They are playing a 5 at the back formation. I don't think we will need to make any changes. I've put Joswiak on the left and Whittaker on the right, just so they can cut in, as Whittaker is left-footed and Joswiak is right-footed. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Liam Delap does up front. Obviously, we've pushed Rooney slightly further back to centre-forward. And obviously, Wisdom coming into that defence. Hopefully, defensively, we're a little bit stronger. I think playing Brown against, especially Forest, kind of caused us to lose that game. But obviously, keeping all the academy players in the starting lineup means we do have to play a bit of a weaker team, but makes it more interesting. 1 goal away from 50 goals this season, and we've only played 15, technically 16 games now that we're going into this one. And Watford actually have the best defensive record in the league. They've only conceded 9 goals in 15 games, so hopefully this will be a good test for us, just to see where we are at. And in terms of our quality, of course, let's have a look at their team. It is pretty much just like the suggested lineup. Sometimes they do change, but is Will Hughes in that midfield against his former club? It's going to be a very interesting season to see if Will Hughes does play against us in real life. Obviously, we do have Watford when the international break does end on the Friday, so it's not too long away now. It's just under 2 weeks or 1 week. 1 week, yeah, under a week away. So it's going to be interesting to see. Cleverley's actually the top assister in the league, I think, and Luis Suarez is one of the better scorers. So it's going to be interesting to see how their attack does as well. Obviously, very good defensively with the best defence in the league. Ben Foster, Premier League quality goalkeeper. You know, he's like 80 rated. Craig Dawson, obviously very good in the defence. Cabaselli. It's just a really, really good team, and it's going to be a really tough test, and probably probably the most rated team in the league in terms of the ratings of the players. They're probably towards 80, whereas ours are predominantly just in early 70s. Now in the last couple of games we've scored early but then conceded within the next 5 or 10 minutes, so if we just hold off this 1-0 lead for a good portion of the game, that'll be good. Just right with the ball here, can he slip Rooney in? He is in a dangerous area with the shot now, but saved by Ben Foster. I think against a slightly lesser goalkeeper probably would have been a goal. Wasn't 100% the best shot from Rooney. It's kind of crazy that Rooney does play for Derby. I still find it crazy. We did pick up a bit of a professional foul there, just to try and stop a counter-attack. Watford on the attack here. Murray in the box now. Going to have to be careful not to give away a penalty, because they are quite easy to give away this year. Cleverly's doing the skills. Now into the box to Passetto. Good save from Marshall. Ooh, not done the greatest tackle with Bird there. I was trying to just stop the attack, and it is unfortunately a red card. I was trying to do it a little bit more, just to stop play a bit more, but it was very, very late, and yeah, we're gonna have to make some changes now. Obviously Bird picking up that red isn't great. I think we'll get Rooney back there, probably take Rooney off altogether, just because we do need to be a bit more defensive now. So a bit of a crazy formation, but just to keep the clean sheet hopefully in the next few minutes. I've gone for Evans and Shinnie as DMs, Knight just in front of them, and then Byrne as a right wing back and Lawrence as a left mid, and then Delap up on his own up front. So at this point, obviously with 30 minutes to go, if we can keep the clean sheet, that's great. But we have just subbed off quite a bit of that wall that the free kick's just made. I think if this pays off, you know, it's a bit annoying, but Bird getting sent off, obviously my mistake. Lap on the ball out to Nathan Byrne. I need to get the lap in the middle. Got no option in the middle. It's now into Shinnie. Lays it off for Lawrence. Can he get the finesse shot? Yes, he can. And we have made it 2-0 in the 77th minute there. Really nice goal, and hopefully that's the 3 points. Obviously we did concede 2 goals late on against QPR, I think it was, so we do need to still be careful, but it seems that this formation's working with 10 men. There we go, full time against Watford, a really good 2-0 victory. Obviously getting the 3 points after 2 back-to-back losses, it's good to get. And yeah, I think like when we did get the red card, like what I was doing basically, if I look at how many fouls we made a lot of like 4 fouls in the game. Obviously it did mean Bird getting sent off, but it meant that we won the game because just stopping their attacks basically whenever they got on the counter-attack. So obviously Max Bird will be out for the next game, which is a bit odd because it was a straight red, so I think surely it should be a 3 match ban. But it was a clean sheet as well, which was quite nice to get, of course, as always. Not very common in this career mode, but we have got a update from Ivory Coast. We mainly just signed the good players. I don't think we need another goalkeeper, so we will just reject him. So obviously the more the academy players develop, the more clear it is who's going to actually be usable and who's not going to be usable. And as you can see, I think straight away we're just going to release this Acada guy. Basically any player that doesn't excel what we currently have in the squad, there's not much point in having, so we'll basically release these players up here that don't get over at least an 80 potential as the maximum, because there's just not much point in keeping them at the club. So I might be tempted to get rid of this. I don't know, even Simula is not great. Like, realistically, by the time he gets to a 74, we'll be at like 80 rated players. But we may as well keep him for the time being. But there are some nice ones here. I think Tabucci looks quite good. And obviously this goalkeeper, Dua. So we do have players on international duty. I'm hoping that it doesn't affect any of our fixtures. So it is from the 12th to the 18th. It's interesting that Forsyth and Holmes are still getting called up for international duty, even though they're not really playing for us. So the 12th to the 18th. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, so there's no fixtures in there. I think it's when they put a midweek one in. That's when that causes issues. Yeah, Swansea City away is quite a difficult game. Obviously, they should be towards the top of the table. They are currently 11th. As you can see, that if we lose a game, we could easily drop down to like 8th in the table. So we definitely need to keep scoring, and yeah, we are currently the top goal scorers in the league by about 20 goals, but obviously we have conceded quite a few as well, double the amount of pretty much all the teams around us. But there is a bit of a gap now forming between us and Nottingham Forest. It's currently 15, is that right? Is that my mathematical skills? I think that's right, yeah. So 15 points is quite a big gap. So I think we do need to start obviously winning some games. Obviously those couple of losses was a bit annoying, but realistic. I don't know why the game's done that. I've gone auto replace player, not with like Shinnie or Evans, no. Let's put Jack Marriott at CDM. This game's a bit funny at times. Obviously because Bird is going to be out for this game, and Sibley, it means we have to put in another youth academy player somewhere. I'm just trying to think where would be best. Because I don't know if this is a glitch, but basically Jack Marriott's just stuck at -25. It might be just a visual glitch, hopefully, because if he's... yeah, there we go, so cool. That's sorted that. I'm just thinking what I can do to get another youth academy player. Now, obviously we've got Hutchinson, Duncan, and maybe a centre-back. That might be the option that we have to go for, which I don't really like, because in a back three you do need the back three to be quite solid. So here we are then at the Liberty Stadium, again another stadium that in a way is similar to Pride Park. I think Pride Park's slightly bigger, but yeah, let's go into the lineups for today's game. Obviously Duncan coming in for Bird, and then just a bit of a move around in the midfield. But looking at their team, they've gone for a 5 at the back as well, which we did quite well against Watford, of course, but they are playing a slightly more attacking with one of the centre mids going to Cam. It does mean Wayne Routledge playing at striker, which he's more of a winger really, but obviously with player positioning can be done. Andre Ayew, obviously a terrific player, probably one of the best in the Championship, and then that back three of Mark Gay and Roden and Cabango, really good back three, and I might be tempted to pick one of those three up. I think Roden's actually linked to Spurs, I think, in real life for about 20 million, so really good player. Again, Matt Grimes and Fulton in the midfield. It's a really nice Swansea team, and it's actually a pretty good career mode to do if you are thinking of doing one. Chance here through the middle. Routledge with the goal early on to make it 1-0 in the first 10 minutes. Not exactly the start we were looking for, and we've not really got a good touch of the ball yet. Yeah, this Swansea team's super impressive, and probably will finish in the playoffs again. Yeah, just a big gap in that defence between Wisdom and Matt Clark, I think, and gets the goal. Chance here for Swansea again. Slips it through for Ayew this time, now with the shot and with the goal. We just can't seem to defend. I think maybe just taking Bird out and putting Rooney back into that midfield. We've just got absolutely no cover, and it is 2-0 in the first 15. Ball into the back post with the volley, and I just don't know what I can do defensively. It's actually ridiculous. I don't know what I can, like, how can I stop this goal, really? It's just my back three, just absolutely nowhere to be seen. I don't know where Matt Clark was there. Petterson makes it 3-0, and there's only 20 minutes gone. It's like the Blackburn game. John's right with the ball here, good space to run into. If we can start the comeback, that'd be great. There's one goal to make it 3-1, and we have actually changed the formation. I've gone for a basic 3-5-2, which might be one option we could look at. Obviously it kind of suits what players we have. It just means we don't have quite as many. I don't know, maybe it would work. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. But yeah, I think just Knight and Rooney in front of that back three, which, oh yeah, I need to move these two around. Just so that Wisdom's in the middle, Bielik on the right, and then Clark on the left. Yeah, just, I don't know, maybe just two up front might be better. Good little run here from Matt Clark just to drive it forwards. Now into the lap, across to Lawrence. Can he slip in Duncan? Took a little bit long, but still in the box now, just wide of the post. If that was, you know, if Jack Marriott was in that situation, I think we do make it 3-2, but yeah, just curling away from that far post. Duncan into Rooney, hopefully can get the long shot off. He does, and it hits the crossbar. It is a great save, actually. I didn't realise that. The keeper did get a hand to it. Let me just watch this back again. Was it going in from Rooney's shot? It probably was. It would have been a really good goal to make it 3-2, but I'll go for an in-swinger for the corner, because I'm not too sure why the game does out-swingers. Wisdom with the header, just wide of the post. Just out with the ball here. Can he get himself into the box? Yes, he can. Now with the shot, makes it 3-2. He seems to be one that's carrying us through this game, and with about 25 minutes left, hopefully we can get at least an equaliser. Oh, good interception there from Knight. Good press. Hopefully we can make it 3-3 here. He's got himself into the box. Now across the face of goal. Delap can't get there. Good interception from Jason Knight. Now into Delap. Hopefully can get the shot off with his left foot. Yes, he can. And we have pulled back the comeback of dreams after 3-0 down. Now it's 3-3 with about 12 minutes to go. Still got to be careful not to concede and lose the point. But you know, after being 3-0 down after 20 minutes, you got to take those. But I think change to 3-5-2 might be something I would be tempted to look at, because obviously then it means the likes of Marriott and maybe even Waghorn can get some more games. Chance here for Delap. He is really, really good, and even on his weak foot, I don't mind taking the shot, but it's blocked by the defender. Overlap of Bernier. Can he get the goal to make it 4-3? Yes, we can. And we've won it in the last 3 minutes. What a ridiculous game this is. 3-0 down in 20 minutes and we've won it. I don't know, football's fun, isn't it? A really good run from Burn though. And then Marriott's just there. He's always there just to get the goal. And the 3-5-2 is, I probably will change the 3-5. The only reason we weren't playing the 3-5-2 is because of Sibley. Obviously now that he's injured, we have the option to play an extra striker, but that is his 10th goal of the season, and I'll be interested to see how many games he's actually played, because it's probably 10 in 10. And there we go, full time against Swansea. The absolute comeback of dreams to get all 3 points at the Liberty, and really important 3 points actually. If I show you the table, the first 20 minutes they were ridiculous, and then they kind of just, once they were 3-0 up, they kind of took the foot off the gas, and yeah, I think changing to 3-5-2 is definitely what I'm going to look at. So Max Bird is back from suspension now, which I think will make this 3-5-2 a little bit more interesting. We have got a bit of development, but as you can see, if we didn't pick up those 3 points, we would have been outside of the playoffs now, because Brentford are on 30 points. So a really, really important win, and you know, we kind of have to win every single game if we're going to close that gap to Forest now, between now and the end of the season. So this is what I like. I like the pressure. I don't want to win the league very easily on like professional difficulty. I want it on literally the most ridiculous. But yeah, as you can see, we have just changed Buchanan to a default centre back. Or do we go stopper? Just trying to think what's best for him. You don't really need his head anyway, because he's not really the tallest, so I think going for a stopper is probably the shout for Buchanan. So yeah, I think if we look at this 3-5-2, we have had a bit of growth actually, which is quite interesting to see. Joswell going to a 75 rated player now, Delap to a 64, Whittaker to a 63, I think Bielik's gone to a 73 as well, and Knight to a 68 I think, and Ibe to a 75. It's really nice to see when players do grow in stats, of course, but yeah, as I said, maybe just make it a new formation, just because then, obviously, when Sibley does come back, we can always switch it back to facilitate him. So if we just go for a 3-5-2, because that's what we did against Swansea, we were 3-0 down, changed it to 3-5-2, and we scored 4 goals and conceded none, so it seems to work. The only issue is, obviously, Knight isn't actually a CDM, but if we just push him up one, make him a centre mid, and that's basically what you do to fix that. And then if Rooney goes up front, that will probably work the best. I don't know why it's, because he could play in the other. Well, let me just show you what I mean. Rooney could play fine in this formation at striker, or maybe not. That's odd. He didn't have that exclamation mark before, so I don't quite understand why that is. Yeah, a little bit frustrating, but you can still play striker, there's no issue with that. Bit of development here, and I don't know if I want to do this now that we've gone to the 3-5-2, of converting Dwayne Holmes to a centre forward, because I don't really need to do it now, if we're going to be playing 2 strikers. But then again, he could, I don't know don't know if I want to do this. I might just leave it here for now. See how the 3-5-2 does for a couple of games, because he's not exactly playing too much Dwayne Homes. It's the only issue if I do that is if he can still play right mid. That's kind of what I'm worried about. But yeah, the next game is against Stoke City. As you can see, I was going to check actually how many games Marriot's actually played. Stats, let me have a look. This thing's really annoying, this sort feature, but yeah, Marriott scored 13 goals in 13 games, 7 assists as well, so 20 contributions in 13 games, 19 contribution per game for Tom Lawrence. Obviously Rooney getting 23 contributions in 18 games, really good to see. Delap again, pretty decent, you know, not quite as good as Marriott, but definitely getting towards those marks. And obviously Joswiak playing quite deep on that left mid role. Obviously in a 4-2-3-1 he would be further up the pitch, but in this 3 at the back, obviously having to be a bit more defensive. Yes, it's interesting to see just how everyone's doing so far this season. Obviously it means now, if we do get an injury to a striker, maybe Marriott, maybe Waghorn, sorry, comes in, or maybe someone like Duncan a little bit more. But I think we'll go with that for the time being. I think for pace it might be a shout just to put Lawrence at the striker role, and then Rooney at the cam spot, just because obviously pace, getting in behind the defence. Obviously Rooney's not the fastest, but very good at passing. So let's go into this Stoke game. Couple of minor issues because of the international break in terms of fitness. Obviously Lawrence on 96 and same with Bielik on 73. I might be tempted to rest Bielik actually. Here we are then at our technically local rivals on the game. I don't think we can sign players from Stoke City because the game thinks that we're rivals, but we're not really rivals. Yeah, we're going to be trying out the 3-5-2 in this game. Knight's actually gone to a 69. He was 68 and he's gone to a 69, so that's good to see. Really, really good player. Just really good rounded stats. There's not anything wrong. Maybe slightly short if I'm going to make any complaint. Only 5'9". I do like my midfielders to be, you know, good 6 foot tall. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how we do with this 3 at the back from the start. Obviously the midfielders, it's a bit more of a default formation than the formation that we were playing before, so it'd be interesting to see how we do. And the only reason we can we could technically play, the only reason we've gone to this 3-5-2 is because obviously Sibley, but if we played Sibley at the cam spot and then Rooney and Lawrence up front, that's always one option. But I'm not too convinced with those 2 up front. So yeah, let's have a look at the Stoke team. They are playing a 4-3-3. Butland in goal, who we are looking at, of course, so it'll be interesting to see how he does perform. Timon and Smith at fullback, Chester and Shawcross. Nick Powell at CDM. I'm sure he's more of a cam, and then surely he played John McKell at CDM. Joe Allen, of course. James McLean, Pabon, and Stephen Fletcher up front. Let me just check what. Maybe they've changed his positioning in the game. Not match facts, it's the performance one. Let me just have a look. So yeah, it is a cam playing at CDM, which is a bit odd, because surely John Obi Mikel would just suit that role much better. But we've got to be careful on the wings. Obviously McLean and Pabon, both very pacey players, and obviously we are playing a 3 at the back. Oh, that's a great ball. Through for Lawrence here. Can he slip it inside to Rooney? Yes, he can. Blocked by the defender. Maybe he should have just gone for the power shot instead of the finesse. We've got a corner here early on. Can Delap get on the end of this ball from Lawrence? Yes, he can. He has got the pace. Has he got the finish? He does indeed. And we do make it 1-0 in the 10th minute. Good early start. And obviously this formation just means we can play Liam Delap, and I probably will look to make that permanent after this game. Just because, as I said, teams can actually recall their loans, and it seems to be much more frequent this year on FIFA 21. So I think we're just going to wrap that up and basically confirm him as a player, because he's really, really good, and he's not even 18 yet. He's got 7 goals, so you know, imagine him in a couple of years' time when he's like towards 80 mark. Now it's into the lap. Now into Rooney. Brings it forwards. Back to Delap. Can he get the shot off? Yes, he can. Saved by Jack Butland. Inside here to Joswiak. Can he cut inside and create a chance? It's into Delap. And that's a great goal to make it 2-0 in the 20th minute. I'm not too sure what Butland was doing there, to be honest. And I might just take him off the shortlist if at this current rate, you know, conceding the goal. I know his defence isn't helping him too much, but he kind of just fell over. It was a bit of a scuff shot from Delap, which might have helped the situation. It kind of rolled along the ground. Yeah, 2 goals for Lap in the first 20 minutes. Chance here for Bird. Great ball through the middle from Rooney. That's what he does, of course. Now with the shot, saved by Butland. I think just because we are winning the game 2-0, and I don't want anything bad to happen to Rooney, of course. I think it's subbing him off is probably the wise thing to do. I'm just trying to think what would be best to bring on. Since we are winning 2-0, it might be a shout actually to put. I think he can still play there. If we put Morgan Whittaker up front, see how he does up there with Delap, and then just put Burn on just to make it a bit more solid defensively, since this game is it's not wrapped up yet, but obviously we're in a comfortable position. I don't want to open things up. Not with the ball into Whittaker. Great ball through for Delap. Can he get his hat-trick in the first half? Just trying to line it up, and there we go. There's the goal. And as always, it is a goal from basically just running through their defence. If you've got a pacey striker, it's very easy to do that, even on ultimate difficulty, which is a bit of a shame. But obviously, because we're winning the game, their defensive line is much higher. So just doing this is just super, super easy. And Liam Delap with the hat-trick, and I think on that note, got to make him permanent. Delap on the ball again here. Obviously, he's in very good form. Can we get a goal for Morgan Whittaker, though? Yes, we can, and that is 4-0 in the first half against Stoke City. And I don't know, I think we're at the right difficulty. It's just one of those cases where, obviously in the Swansea game, we went 3-0 down in the first 20 minutes. So it's not. I just don't know what I can do. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck in a tough position at the minute until EA maybe change the gameplay or something. Maybe update the game. We'll have to just wait and see. But in terms of the table, I think we're about the right level. We're currently just about in the playoffs by a few points. We're not at the top of the table and beaten in every single game. So I think we're just having a good day at the office. And yeah, it's pretty much the game wrapped up now. Chance here for Holmes through the middle. Hasn't had the most amount of game time, but can he get a goal here? Yes, he can. Dwayne Holmes to make it 5-0 in the 70th minute. And yeah, it's kind of a shame that he hasn't played more. Obviously, we've got a number of wingers and attacking midfielders, and he does come on the pitch just off the bench most of the time. But in terms of starting games, hasn't played that much, but probably could do with playing him a bit more. Let's attack here for Stoke. It would be nice to keep the clean sheet just to end off this game. Klukas with a nice bit of footwork across to Joe Allen, but that's full time. It's a bit of a weird place to blow the whistle, literally as Joe Allen's about to pull the trigger. Yeah, Liam Delap with the hat-trick, of course, and I think on that note, we're going to definitely make it a permanent now, because it's kind of a no-brainer. We definitely want to keep the player. Not a single shot on target from Stoke. I must say this 3-5-2 is much better defensively. I think the wingers do what they should be doing, and the CDMs obviously support defence much easier. It'd be interesting to see how long Wayne Rooney is out injured, though. 5 days, so it's not too bad. Obviously, he's going to miss the next game, but after that should be back. So yeah, let's go into this squad hub. I'm not too sure why my manager rating's so low, which is a bit of a concern. Can't really do too much more than I currently am. Probably need to I'll probably do it in the next episode, look to involve some of the more youth development players. I still don't get what replace through players from the first team means. Gain automatic promotion, that might be why, obviously, because we're not in the top 2 at the minute. So as long as we get promoted, I don't think I'll get sacked. So that's all I got to do. No pressure. And unfortunately, because of that injury, Rooney has gone to a 76. So he is dropping off quite a bit. but it's still a +6 into like he's still technically an 82 because of the +6. I'm just trying to look at where his pace stat is. Yeah, it seems about the right. I'm not too sure what the downgrade has been, but let's go into the squad hub, go down all the way to Liam Delap and settle to buy option. There we go. So does that mean we have to start negotiate wage? Yes, it does. So let's go and do that to wrap up this episode, and just basically means whatever remaining money we have after this deal can be used to make January signings. So only wants a rotation role, which is interesting, and I've seen in a few occasions you'll offer a player like important role, but they only want sporadic, so it's a little bit odd. We will give him a 5-year contract. Let's see if he wants that. Maybe a 4. No, he's looking for a 5. That works for me, Liam. Go accept that. Now we've still got about 3 million and quite a bit in the wage. Actually, I don't think Liam Delap will want too much wage. I don't want to break this deal, so I'd rather overpay than underpay. Like 10 grand a week wages is more than enough, and we'll give him a 100k bonus, and hopefully he signs that contract. And there we go, reasonable offer. So I think we're about where he should be. And there we go, we have made Liam Delap a permanent signing. I'm not too sure if that means now. Yeah, it does seem that he is actually our player. So that's very good to see, of course. If you just compare him to the other strikers at the club, in terms of finances, you know, like Wagon's on 16 grand a week and has played about 4 games. Marriott and Delap obviously about the same wage, because they're about the same quality in a sense. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we do now with this 3-5-2, of course, just to see how we can accommodate for all the players once Sibley does come back. It'll be interesting to see who we drop, really, because there's a really good core group, and maybe playing Knight on the right mid spot and dropping Whittaker, but Whittaker's been quite good since coming in. But we have got a player chat here with Liam Delap, and yeah, he's just happy to sign for the club, so that's good to see. And yeah, we'll just simulate up to this Bournemouth game. Hopefully, because of that signing, I'm hoping that is one of the objectives, just slightly more. Yeah, so we need to sign one more player younger than 20 with a better overall, so we'll have to do that in January, of course, and that'll probably tick off that. We'll look at the long-term one in the next episode. If we sign a couple of youth players and play them in 10 games this season, it just means we can tick that off, so that'll be good. I think even if you tick it off in this season, it'll still be there for next season as well, which is a little bit annoying, but that's the game that we do play. But as I said, I think we will keep Combs as a cam for the minute, but like literally whenever we want to, we can just convert him to a centre forward. And yeah, Jack Marriott does want to play the next game, so might have to happen. Obviously, Rooney's not going to be the captain for the next game because he's injured. But yeah, the 3-5-2 in that last game was absolutely ridiculous, so definitely going to be keeping this formation. What we'll probably do is just do that and then just put maybe even Waghorn on the bench, although that's crazy actually. I did some training at the start of this episode with Waghorn to get his fitness up to, like, I think his sharpness was at 25 and now it's just gone straight back down to 0. So it does show you how much you have to actually play them. So it doesn't look like we're going to be able to play with Waghorn in the next game, so we'll have to put Bobby Duncan there. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it at the minute. Obviously, we're about at the right level in terms of the table. If you have a look, we are currently 6th, so you know it's kind of crazy. But if we do win our next game against Bournemouth, we can go up to 5th, and yeah, we're currently 13 points off top of the table. So if we can, hopefully, when we next play Nottingham Forest, end that unbeaten streak. So let me have a quick look and see before we do finish off the episode. We do play Forest again in March, so it's a very long time, and hopefully by March that unbeaten run has stopped, because if it hasn't, I don't know how we're going to stop them. We don't really want to be playing Forest next season in the Premier League, let's be honest. But yeah, hopefully guys did enjoy this episode. Leave a like rating if you did enjoy, and see you soon. Bye.